everyone, it's Naomi Finlay here, your rapid renovation expert. Now you've completed the hard yards, have you? You've done enough research to fill a library, and your budget and estimates would make your math teacher proud as punch. And you've finally found the perfect property. You've nailed down what your renovations are going to be to find the sweet spot. And that old shabby bathroom is getting updated. Those 60s tiles are due for retirement, and the green accents, are shutter-worthy. The back veranda is also getting a makeover, right? The old granny on the rocking chair is now going to be a modern, beautiful outdoor space. And you're going to put in a gorgeous set of bifolds. Fair enough, it's going to be amazing. And to finish it all off, you already know the exact natural elements and finishes that you're going to be putting in that will be simply irresistible. Everyone will be torn, I tell you. Every Tom, Dick and Harry in your target market are going to want this property, but it's now renovation time. So, how long are all of these tweaks going to take? How long are all these upgrades going to take? Which trades are you going to be calling first? What's your backup plan if the plumber isn't available next week? Is your intricately woven renovation plan going to start to completely unravel if there's a late delivery? Well, these are a common theme in renovation woe, I tell you. And the theme here is that time is money, and renovation timeline here is key. You know, they do say that time is money, and I completely agree. They're absolutely not wrong. And when a journalist has a deadline and they need to finish a story before the date or the day is up, otherwise they risk losing their slot in the newspaper, right? And missing out on their paycheck. And it would be a heck of a lot of work to go to waste. So the same goes for renovating, especially when you're renovating to create wealth. You've already worked out the profit that you want to see. And on the other side of this renovation timeline is a wonderful payday for you. Now, just to make sure though that you get to that end of the time, to that timeline before the strike of midnight at the end of your renovation and you turn into a pumpkin, you need to make sure you have a plan. So the more time you spend on actually renovating, the more money you're going to see disappear. That's not to say that you should scrape through with a dodgy bathroom or a dodgy kitchen renovation, or stick with only cosmetic stuff. But what it is saying is that you really need to keep an eye on your renovating schedule and make sure that everything and everyone sticks to it. There are 3 factors that you need to take into account. Now, the first one is the order of the events. The first thing you need to be considering when drawing up your timeline is exactly what order things are going to go in. In other words, what's going to come first? What do you need to bring in first before anything else can be done? Or what needs to be removed first? For example, if you've decided to gut the kitchen and replace it with the latest and greatest, there will be certain things that have to be done before other things. Before you can put in the new cabinets, you're going to need to make sure that there's space for them. Have the old cabinets been recycled, or have they been thrown out? Has the wall leading into the living room, the one standing in the way of your perfect open plan space, been knocked down yet? And then you can't slap on a Caesar stone bench top if you're not had the cupboards installed, nor can you cover the hole in the wall with those shimmery splashback tiles that you hand-picked if your electrician hasn't come and wired in all of the electrical power points. And when the plumber's supposed to come in and do the piping, definitely not at the end of the whole kitchen being done. So the order is so important. Now, number 2. The time it takes for the warm-up. So stick with me here. I want you to take into account the time it takes to warm up before the race begins. So I want you to think about this one. A long-distance runner doesn't just show up to a marathon 30 seconds before the race is about to start. He shows up an hour before. She warms up. She's conducting and conditioning her body along with her trainer. And just like a marathon runner, you're not going to jump in and show up on the day you get handed the keys with a jackhammer and start smashing out the floor. It's going to take you time to get all the essential equipment to the renovation site, delivery of the tiles, orders of the products, measurements of the cabinetry. This all needs to happen before your renovation starts, and it doesn't happen instantly. Now, you definitely shouldn't be leaving all of that sort of prep, all of the pre-steps, all of the warm-up right until the end. This is all part of your renovation journey. Number 3, the time it takes to finish the race. We're continuing this racing analogy here. On your marks, get set, go! The marathon racer completes the track. His coach is by his side on the sideline, timing his laps. How long did the first 100 take? How long did the next 100? And so on and so on. What about the last leg of your race? So the third part of this is where the timing of each job is actually taken into consideration. You've worked out the order that the jobs need to go in, the prep you need to do before you start. Now you need to think about how long each and every task is going to take. So how long will it take to knock down the wall? How long will it take for the cabinetry to be installed? How long will it take for the piping under the sink and the dishwasher? So you can see, work needs to be done in a series of events, right? One after the other. And work equals time. So you can save time and money and effort by having it all planned in a timeline that you and your trades are all very well aware of. Otherwise, there'll be a whole lot of confusion and chaos on site, and not to mention a whole pile more grey hair. Having a well-planned timeline and sticking to it is one of the most important things that you can do when you're renovating for wealth. But that does not mean that you should be rigid in that. It does not mean that you should not allow minor changes. After all, things happen that are way beyond your control. You can't possibly think of every single thing that could occur when you're renovating. Being flexible will help you overcome any hurdles that come your way, and it will also mean that if you are ahead of schedule, that you can move things around, push things forward, so that you can actually finish earlier and save yourself money. So all in all, have a well thought out timeline in place, but remember to allow for some wiggle room. It might even leave you with a bigger profit at the end of the day. Thanks for joining me. Did you know I wrote a book all about renovating to create wealth and freedom in your life? I've added the link below in the description for you. Enjoy.